Journey to the Eternal Kingdom, Chapter 38. Can one be robbed of their inheritance? The boys hurried on, eager to put as much distance as possible between themselves and the soldiers. Soon the sun began to set. Checking the maps the shepherds had given them, the boys realized they were not far from a shelter provided by the good king. It was known only to pilgrims, and it seemed that the wicked prince and his servants had no idea it existed, always walking right past the little hut without ever noticing it. So the boys stopped there for the night. After taking a much needed shower and enjoying the food that had been provided in the hut by the shepherds, they sat in front of the fireplace, happy and content with all they had accomplished that day. Because they knew that every good thing came from the good king, even their courage to do what was right for their fellow pilgrims, they were careful to give all the praise to the only one who deserved it, the good king. As Kingsley sat quietly by the fire, his thoughts drifted back to his stay at the Place of Delight. He remembered reading in the library there about a man named Little Faith.
Tell me about the story of Little Faith, please. Sure, I read this story at Palace of Delight.
It did not take much persuading from Hopeful before Kingsley began to tell him the story of Little Faith.
In the Pilgrim's Progress, there was once a traveler named Little Faith. He journeyed along the king's path toward the eternal kingdom, carrying with him a small purse of silver coins, just enough, he thought, to sustain him on the way. One quiet evening, as the shadows stretched long across the path, Little Faith grew tired and sat down to rest. But as he lingered there, 3 robbers crept out from the darkness: Faint Heart, Mistrust, and Guilt. They surrounded him. "Your money or your life," demanded. Trembling, Little Faith resisted at first, but fear overcame him. The robbers beat him and took nearly all the silver he carried. Bruised and shaken, he lay there for a long time after they left. When he finally rose, he wept bitterly. "I am undone," he said. "I have lost what I needed most. How will I continue? How will I finish this journey?" So he walked on, but slowly, sadly, and with little hope. What Little Faith didn't realize. Though the robbers had taken his coins, they had not taken everything. Hidden deep within his inner pocket, so close to his heart that even he had nearly forgotten, was a small pouch of jewels. These were no ordinary jewels. They were gifts given to him by the king himself: kindness, love, mercy, and a servant's heart. The robbers had searched his outer pockets, but they never saw what was hidden within. And so Little Faith still carried a treasure far more valuable than silver: the truth he needed to learn. As he walked, still sorrowful, he passed other travelers. One was weary and burdened. Without thinking, Little Faith stopped and helped carry their load for a while. Another was discouraged. He offered them kind words. Another had fallen. He reached down and lifted them up. And something strange began to happen. With every act of love, with every moment of service, his heart grew lighter. His strength returned. His hope began to shine again. It was then that he remembered the words of the prophet in Book of Zechariah: "They shall be like jewels in a crown, shining for him." Little Faith stopped in his tracks. "My treasure," he whispered, placing his hand over his heart, "was never the silver." A greater inheritance. He realized then that though his money was gone, his true inheritance had never been touched. The robbers could steal what was in his hands, but not what had been placed in his heart. For the jewels he carried were meant to shine, not by being kept, but by being given away. And the more he loved and served others, the brighter those jewels shone. The lesson. So Little Faith continued on his journey, not in despair, but in quiet confidence. He still walked carefully. He still remembered the danger, but he no longer believed he was poor, because he now understood. The greatest treasure is not what you carry for yourself, but what you give for others. And though his purse was nearly empty, his crown was being filled with jewels that would shine forever.